With the recent massive success that was Only Up, an arguably terrible game with bad controls and copy-pasted assets lazily thrown together. Okay, I might be a little jealous. But it did remind me of all the great rage games that I've seen dominate the internet over the years. QWOP, I Am Bread, Getting Over It. All great games to watch others suffer through. So I decided it was time I try my hand at making people angry and hopefully release it on Steam. But first, I had to come up with an idea. I wanted to build off something people already find frustrating in real life. My first thought was sitting in traffic, but then it hit me. Something that makes people even angrier. Being short. As a medium tall person myself, I don't know the struggles of being short, but it's time I stepped into their little shoes to see how hard it is for them just to get out of bed. Now I just have to actually make the game. And the first step of any good rage game is getting an asset off the asset store. I'm using the same one I used for my Halloween video, but instead of making a bedroom, I had to make a whole apartment. And after that didn't go so well, I just repurposed the demo scene. For a person who's a normal height, this is a pretty nifty place. But as a short person, maneuvering around this will take so much work. I want to make it so you can interact with everything in this room. You should be able to stack things and push things over. Anything you can do to get where you need to go. So I started by making it possible to grab things. I followed a CodeMonkey tutorial for this, but I had to add a few tweaks. In his tutorial, the object snaps to the middle of the screen, no matter where you pick it up from. This worked great mechanically, but it just didn't have the right feel for my game. Instead, I made it so the object stays exactly where it is until you move it. This way you can physically pull things off the shelf. I just thought this made more sense in the context of my game. Then I spent way too long setting up every item in the house to be interactable. Don't look at that, we'll put that one back. After playing around for a bit, I found it hard to know when you're able to grab things. To improve this, I made it so that the little dot in the middle of your screen would change colors whenever you can grab things. I thought this looked a lot cleaner than just putting a big hand in the middle of the screen. The other problem I ran into is you can pick up an item below you and essentially fly. This is a common exploit in games that let you pick things up, but it does ruin the point of this game. However, I think it's a really fun speedrunning strategy, so I didn't want to take it out completely. I'll get back to my solution later. While going through the room, I realized a short person wouldn't be able to pick up everything. Some things are just too big. For those items, I made it so you could push them over. This opens up even more opportunities for creating your own paths. So now the only part of the apartment I have left to do is every cabinet, every door, the fridge, the oven, the toilet seat. So pretty much done. I of course couldn't use the same code for these things because we don't want the little guy just pulling doors off their hinges. So I had to learn about hinge joints. I also had to change the code so when you grab a door, you have to look left or right to open it. This actually wasn't too bad and definitely didn't take me more than one try. Okay, eventually I got it mostly working, but it's still a little jank. And finally, after all that work, we have to implement dying. Because it wouldn't be a rage game if you didn't lose all your progress. I figured someone this short wouldn't be able to survive a fall even off a coffee table. So now, falling from above a certain height will just break your legs and you'll have to restart. I added some fun sayings that will randomly appear every time you die. And I'd love to add more, so if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. Another benefit of making the player die is if they try to fly using an object, there's a high chance they fall off and they'll have to restart. So it becomes a high risk, high reward maneuver, which I think is a fun balance. But with that, we have the foundation of our game complete. Yeah, there still isn't any objectives, but even without a goal, I keep finding myself getting distracted just playing around with everything in the room. That's normally a good sign that you have a decent game. So in pursuit of being a real game developer, I decided to finally become a Steam partner and set up a store page for my game. But little did I know, this would cost me $100 real. And you have to have a store page up for at least 2 weeks before they let you make it live. Well, this ruined all my plans. Okay, time to pivot. I still want to release this game on Steam one day, so I had the idea to make this just a demo. This way, I can give you guys all a chance to play the game for free now, and you all can provide your feedback so I can improve the game for when it's the real release. Plus, it will give me a chance to gauge people's interest. So wishlist it on Steam, and share this video with your friends. I'll use a mix of wishlists and views to see if it's worth pursuing. But in the meantime, I still have a demo to finish. My initial plan was to make you run around the house doing tasks, but that can wait for the full game. For this, I think it would be best to keep it simple so people can experiment with the movement and the house. Because of this, I decided to make collectibles that I can place around the apartment in hard to reach spots. I made the collectible a coffee mug because and now when you get close to a mug, you pick it up. And when you get all 8 of them, you win. After watching some people play, I ended up making a few small changes, like adding an outline around the mugs to make them easier to see, and adding a much needed tutorial. I also added a pause screen and a mediocre main menu. And I even added sound. Nah, just kidding. It's a regular splat. And then for fun, I added a timer to the win screen, so you can prove you're better than people. And with that, I set up the Steam page and itch page so you can go play it right now. I actually think this one's pretty fun. It's like a puzzle that you can optimize beyond belief, or just brute force. Either way, it'll be fun. But let me know what you guys think, and any ideas you have to make it better. And make sure to wishlist it on Steam, so I can feel better about myself. Alright, see you guys next time.